Hi guys, and welcome back again. This is, I think this was my ride day number six, I think, and it was, well, it ended up becoming my largest ride day by quite some distance. The reason being is the night before, when I was chatting to some people, they just said, look, it's a pretty boring road from here to El Paso. And then I bought a map and tried to work out if there's other roads I could go on. I looked on Google Maps and there wasn't many choices except for going in at a certain stage. And you can see from the River app that I followed the border along for maybe about 60, 80 miles. And I thought that might be pretty cool. And at first it looked like it was going to be pretty cool. I got stopped by Border Patrol and you know, they talked about, about issues I might come up, that might come up while I'm on my trip, and not to take on any passengers and stuff like that. And didn't see anybody. And it basically was a straight road with pretty desolate sort of place. And I ended up getting a bit frustrated with it and turned back in because it was pretty cold too, and I was going up in elevation. However, so I decided to get up really early and get some photos of the Alamo with my bike early in the morning before the sun came up, or as the sun was coming up. Fortunately, it was a little bit of a cloudy day, as you can see, and I didn't really get the full benefit of that. And so it just looked like it was dark when I took the photo. But basically, I decided that I was going to do about 900 kilometres, which is about 560 miles. About 560 miles, which was going to be a long day. And the roads were mainly dual carriageways like this. And then once I got further north, it just went into a dual lane highway. So, you know, trucks and cars going back and forth. The roads got a lot smaller, and the border road was friggin', I mean, it was amazing. It was like a brand new road, but it was just pretty much straight. And there was, the only people I saw the whole border thing was just Border Patrol guys. About every few kilometres there was a truck coming past, and they had all these sort of sonar or some sort of devices on the border wall. And I ended up having a bit of a chat with a few of the guys. I didn't want to get a photo taken because they said they weren't allowed to or something. But they were nice guys, and you know, they were pretty much El Trumpo supporters. A severe dislike for Hillary Clinton, but I mean, I didn't want to get into an argument with them about anything. But there's a shot at the Alamo in the morning. The cops wouldn't let me get any closer. I wanted to get right up there, but they wouldn't let me get any closer. But the guys were really nice guys and all that, you know. I don't particularly like to get into arguments with people about, you know, people I don't know about their ideologies, but you know, I just talk to them about where they grew up, and it's always clear to me that, you know, the people that think that way, it's not because they think that way, it's because, well, they do, but in some cases, but, you know, usually when they go with over bravado on what they think, you know, they've got a little bit of doubt about it, you know, and, you know, the stuff they were saying about Hillary Clinton and stuff like that, which, you know, I mean, part of it's probably true. But you know, a lot of it was like just fake stuff, you know, like something about pizza pedophiles and stuff like that. I mean, that's been disproven pretty much emphatically by anybody who's got common sense. But you know, they were pretty cool guys. But their role on the border is pretty boring. I mean, they say they rarely ever see anything and stuff like that, and you think, well, if there's all these people pouring across, you know, obviously, and there's this big fence and all this sort of stuff where they were, you would think that, you know, they would pick people up every now and then. I just think maybe the people who are coming across are a little bit smarter, and maybe there's obviously there's a whole ton of ways people illegally enter countries. You know, the majority of people that are illegally into the US don't go over borders; they go by aeroplane. You know. Roads were pretty boring. San Antonio, I probably would have wanted to spend an extra night there and actually spend a day at the Alamo and learning a little bit more about it. It's, you know, there's two histories there: the history that people want you to know about, the the real history that digs a little bit deeper into some of the things. But nonetheless, it's always interesting. And so I got up really early, and because it was going to be a boring road, I was actually going to stop at another place and stay the night, but I decided to just do, because they told me, this is quite nice, because they told me it was a pretty boring stretch and the weather wasn't that good, I thought, look, let's just pound out the miles and get to El Paso, because I knew from El Paso things were going to get, that's when the sort of a little bit of the adventure started to begin. So I pounded out the miles. I think I had to fill up the tank a couple of times, and and you know, there's a couple of little places I wanted to visit along the way. Fort Hancock I wanted to drop in at, and another place called Fort Stockton. So I had some breaks there, but really basically just got into it and pounded out the miles for the day. El Paso is, you know, it's a pretty interesting city. There I am just stopping. I think there's a couple of roadside stops along the way. Actually, Texas, I made a comment in a previous video. They actually had some stops along the way. Here's me riding in definitely the wrong line, right in the middle of the road with all the bilge stuff in it. El Paso is a pretty cool city right on the border, and you know, sort of. You know, you can go up onto the top of this little mountain and see El Jerez, I think it is, the city right next to it, and that's pretty cool. You know, the thing about it is that, you know, when you travel, you know, whether it's in Europe, Eastern Europe, and Asia, a place like that, the most interesting places are usually the small towns. In America, it's a bit sad because the small towns have been pretty much overtaken and they're pretty much dead as far as local businesses and stuff like that. You see some cafes and bars and all that sort of stuff that still survive, but anything that everybody needs is all, even in small towns that are pretty little towns, you'll see that a lot of places are just boarded up, and that's, for me, that's pretty sad, because you know, basically what you have in all Western civilizations or advanced civilizations, you have corporations, and this is what they do. It's not their fault. They just play the system the way they can play it to maximize their profits and that. But what you have is every need of every person is pretty much covered by big, massive corporations. So if you need electricity, you need internet, you need water, you need, God, that's an ugly shot. Look at that head. You need your daily groceries, telephony, everything that's a need is basically run by corporations now, and they obviously have the money to lobby the governments, get the laws passed that they want that benefit them. But the downside is, in the big cities, you know, who cares really? But in smaller towns, what you find is you end up with McDonald's, and you end up with major chains for the grocery stores, and you know, the town just suffers dramatically, because what you end up with is every corner shop being closed or barely surviving. You find that a whole heap of shops are boarded up, and there's some really pretty towns I went through that basically just had, I don't know, I think I'm just feeling the bruise there, but basically just had the McDonald's, the Hungry Jack's, KFC, a department store, and there will be 50 stores that are just boarded up and closed. No one's running a business there. And it's pretty sad. I think really the only way they can get out of that is to increase the town size and get farmers to offer land up at very massive discounts, even free, for people to build their homes on. Because, you know, the economy going forward, like a person like myself, you know, I run my business on the internet, and I very rarely meet any clients. And so a person like myself could, you know, I mean, not everyone wants to live in a small hip town, but a person like myself could, as long as the telephoning was good there, like the internet and telephone service was good, a person like myself could easily move there, build a house very cheap, live very cheap, and actually then put some money back into the economy. And you know, it would take a combined effort, the whole community coming together and say, let's offer 200, 500 blocks of land for free. because the future is going to be that somebody can build a house without having the city to connect the road, without them having to connect internet, water, all this sort of stuff, because everything's going to be self-sustainable. I mean, you can already do it now. It's just a little bit expensive now, but that price will keep dropping. So eventually you'll be able to have a home that's got a grey water system that captures water for drinking and for showers and for all that other stuff, and also converts your waste and all that into something you can feed into your gardens as mulch and stuff like that. Your electricity you can already do that now. Solar panels with the power packs that now are available, where you can actually run your electricity from home the whole time. You're going to be able to build. The biggest problem with land allocation now in all Western advanced democracies is what you have a block of land, but the developers have got to hook up all the services to it, and governments have got to get out of that mentality and start saying, no, this whole tranche of land is going to be 100% self-sustainable, every home. Yes, they'll have to build the roads to it, but all the other services can go by the bye-bye. It can all be wirelessly done. You can have a massive wireless tower in the town and offer free internet for all the town. They just each pay a $20 a month fee or something to get high-speed internet. And you can do all of this, and it will become a lot cheaper to build. And eventually you'll be, the roads and all that sort of stuff will be a lot easier to build as well. So anyway, that's my little blurb and blah, blah, blah on that. But it's just really sad when you go through some of these beautiful, pretty little old towns and you find that just everything is just hoarded up, And they're dead because all the money that people spend in town, of course they want something cheaper, so they're going to go and get their McDonald's for food sometimes. They're going to go to the major chain grocery store rather than the corner shop because it's cheaper. They control the markets. But what happens is these companies also only pay minimum wages, and all the profits from those companies go outside of the city. So that person on the corner store who might have built another home or might have invested in something else in the town has all of a sudden shut up shop and gone, And it's just what happens, and it's sad, but governments at all levels have got to start being a lot smarter about things, And some of these places were beautiful little towns, and that's from a 360 camera, the Samsung 360 that shot. So I just like to. It would be really nice to see some things change around the way the cities build their towns and communities. I remember in Australia there's quite a few country towns where some of these farmers have 100, 500 hectares, 1,000, 10,000 hectares, giving up 1 hectare for 5 blocks or 4 blocks of land, large blocks of land, giving that up and having the city behind them and backing them to say, okay, we're going to build a little lane to those homes and a little dirt road or whatever to begin with. And if they successfully sell the properties, they also, all the cities pre-approve these pre-built prefab homes that are ready to go, that are 100% self-sustainable. They're already pre-approved. So you buy the land, you buy the prefab home from the company who sets up the base of the home and then puts the home together for you. Away you go. That's going to make a huge difference to communities around the world. The big stumbling block at the moment is roads, because you can get everything else where you don't need access. But by the government supporting these sort of things, you'll find the price for all these things will just drop dramatically. So you might have a list of 50 prefab homes you can choose from. I went for a ride the other day with a friend of mine, Mike, and I said, who would live in these places? Like, this is in Florida, and every single home in this community was exactly the same. What the hell is going on? It's just weird. Like we're not talking about 10, 20 homes, we're talking about 500, 1,000. So governments have got to get so much better at this and so much smarter about how they allow people in. But anyway, this road was a super long day, probably not very exciting visually. There's some more interesting stuff coming up now. The first 6 to 7 days, I think, of my travels were all pretty boring. And there was little bits in between, but the thing is, it was about me getting to LA, and that was the major thing for me, just getting into LA and getting past it. But you can see now I'm coming towards El Paso. where you start seeing some mountains, because I didn't see anything for thousands of miles, and it's pretty flat, pretty boring. But you know, and the thing about it is that, you know, at times I was going up at pretty high levels here, and it was getting pretty cold, I can tell you. But you know, Fort Hancock was pretty cool. Again, the town is completely decimated by local businesses not being there, and local businesses are going to go if there's no one buying their product. I mean, it's just impossible for them to survive. And here, I think that was when I headed up to Fort Hancock. This is where around the border area. I think no, it's not, because it's a dual carriageway. Yeah, this is coming in, getting into the last step to get into El Paso, which I actually really liked El Paso. It was pretty nice. I stayed in a hotel where it was a massive hotel, but I honestly think that maybe I was the only person in the whole hotel. I didn't see anyone else. I saw some people leaving when I got there, but once I got in there, I actually didn't see anybody else the whole time I was there, and it was pretty weird, you know. And I got this big, massive room in this hotel, and then just ordered. No, I went for a walk and had some. I had some dinner at a local bar and a few beers at a local bar. It was a pretty cool bar. I think it was called Tap. It was a pretty cool little spot. But it was, you know, it was a pretty long and uneventful day for me, and I was really looking forward for the next leg, and just getting so once you do a long day like this, you've still, once you get to the hotel, you've still got probably 30 minutes before you can relax, because you've got to get all your bags off, get them on the trolley, then and then park the bike, then go in, check in. And the check-in process at hotels is just a pain in the backside. I mean, they take your passport and then they get you to fill out a form that wants the passport number on it. They photocopy your passport, then they ask you to fill in a form with your passport number, your name, where you live, all stuff that just is of zero need for them to know, except for their marketing purposes. I wish you could just say, no, sorry, I'm not going to fill that in, but you can't. So it becomes a little bit boorish after a while. It's just some shitty little places that you're staying in just for one night, and they want you to fill in a card with your phone number, your email address, and they always have like about half the room necessary for you to write in your email address, which it makes it ineligible. You can't even read it, sorry. So it's just a bit of a pain in the backside. But once you get up into your room, I just go through a routine. So I get into the room, I hook up my power pack. I have this thing called an Anchor powerhouse, which has a battery that can last for days. It's about $500 but it's a battery that lasts for days. And the beautiful thing is, most hotels don't have very many power outlets, and the nicer hotels, the less. So I hook up the the Anchor powerhouse, and then it's got 5 ports for 5 USB ports. I think it's 5 or 4. 5 USB ports, and I plug in my comms device on my helmet. I plug in my camera and the battery backup, and any other devices that I need charging. And I just leave. So I do that first. So I get all that, get the computer set up, test the Wi-Fi. I tested every single hotel I was in on the Wi-Fi speed. And you wouldn't be surprised to know that none of it's as advertised. And then I open the computer, read all the emails that I've got to respond to for the day, which is usually 10 to 20 emails for the day. Get all that ready. If there's anything I've got to do straight away, I do straight away for my clients. And other than that, I usually then go and get a bite to eat, go have a look around the town, and everything's charging while I'm away. And then when I get back, I'll have a shower, and then I'll get into some work. So I think I usually spend about, just for the one night, about 2 to 3 hours having a look around the town and having a bite to eat, just relaxing, maybe a beer or two, and then get back into it. And then the next day, I'm normally up first thing and ready to go. All the bags are packed the night before. Everything's ready to go except for the computers and the electronic devices that have to be packed away. But I've got a spot for each one of those. So it's about a process you go through, and you get better with that process as you go along. It's hanging up your gear, Sometimes you've got to wash your gear, but only if I'm staying 2 or 3 nights I'll bother doing that. Otherwise I just have to smell. I'm not the one who has to smell myself, other people are, so I don't usually worry about that. But anyway, that was ride day 6 and to El Paso, Texas, and I had a good time, and I hope you enjoyed this little blast from my mind. Thank you.